right, so our call is on record. So we're going to be looking at typography and as well designing a full social media flyer, right? Which will help us understand how to effectively use text in a design. And we've also looked at previously we've looked at also how to use we've looked at size and dimensions, we've looked at color, we've looked at customization, we looked at color combinations, right? So now we're going to be looking at typography. So basically, when it comes to typography, it means how to be able to use text in design. What kind of fonts are necessary in design? Now we need to understand that when it comes to design, the first thing you should focus on is simplicity, right? For starters, is focus on simplicity. Make sure that your design is simple and communicative, right? That is, when you're designing a particular flyer design, make sure that it is simple and people can easily get the information you're passing across, right? Now, when designing a flyer, for starters, I usually advise that you should not use more than two fonts for a design project. You're designing a flyer, you're designing a social media flyer, you should not use more than two fonts for a design, more than two fonts for a design. So before we get started, I'm just going to go straight to my Canva. This is my Canva interface, like we all know. And then I'm going to move down to customize, that's customize size, to pick my exact size for the design that I'm going to be using for this flyer. But before we get into that, right, before I get into any design project, I first and foremost understand what I'm trying to design. What am I trying to design? Now, let's say we're designing a flyer for maybe a training, right? A training. Currently, I don't know which training. So there is a site where I get to go to search for ideas and concepts for my design project. It is called Pinterest, right? Pinterest is where you get to generate ideas, right? You're trying to design a flyer for a church program. You can go to Pinterest and search church flyer designs, right? Pinterest will provide you with countless of church flyer design. Now, that will help you boost your idea, your creative thinking process, right? It will help you boost your creative thinking process and then help you understand what you need for your flyer design. Also, if you're trying to design for a training or whatsoever, right? So Pinterest is there to help you generate those ideas, help you speed up your creative thinking process. So I'm going to just search in here, Pinterest, and then open Pinterest now. So this is a Pinterest site. You can see already by opening it, I'm seeing some flyer designs already, right? I'm seeing some flyer designs already. So I'm going to just type in here training flyer. So there's no specific training for now. So training flyer. And then I'm going to search. So these are different training flyers designs that are here available on Pinterest. So these are different flyer designs that are here that are for training. You can see countless of them here. You can see countless of them here. So be it whichever kind of training. Now let's say we are specifically looking for crypto. Let's say crypto. So let's say crypto training flyer. So you can see countless of crypto training flyer designs now, right? Countless of crypto training flyer designs that are available here on Pinterest, right? So let's say I'm trying to make something of this nature, right? Let's say we are making something of this nature now, right? We can see the background already is giving a blue and green. Okay, let me just click this guy. I think the other one is no more visible. It's like a video. So you can see this guy is giving a dark shade and a lighter shade of green background already. And then there is a texture format behind this image. Let me take a full view of this guy. There's a texture like a numbering, number kind of thing behind this image, right? And then there are shapes around it. There are some elements, there are some abstract lines around these designs, right? So we're going to be designing this thing from scratch. We're going to be looking for a random image to use for this. That is an image that looks like
I can't hear you, sir. I can't hear you again. I can't hear again, sir.
okay. I think my screen has stopped sharing, so let me just reshare again. Alpha, can you
Yes,
hear me now?
yes, I can hear you better now, but your screen is not up yet.
Is it now?
Your screen is not
Is it
up
up
yet.
now?
It's just showing your
See
picture.
now? Okay. How about now?
Yes, we are good.
All right, so I'm going to move down to customize size. So I'm going to customize the size I want
You
for
didn't
this.
finish what you are saying about that guy.
Okay, so I said we're going to look for an image that looks like this guy and use it for the flyer design that we are trying to create. Or we might probably just, or we'll just click on explore. So we're going to highlight this guy. You can see me, I'm highlighting this guy now to look for an image that looks like this guy, just something close by. If not exactly him, but something closer to him, something that looks like him. So let's say I'm using this one now, right? Let's say I'm going to use this image. So I'm just going to download this image by right clicking on this three dot icon and then click on download. So I have downloaded this image, right? So I'm going to use this image for that design, right? In place of this guy. There are other images down here. So if you're looking for, I just highlighted this guy. So it's showing me a lot of images with people with dread and all of that, right? So, but I have selected what I want to work with. So I'm going to work with this guy here. Let me see if there's other better images like this. Or probably we'll get to use this guy as well. Let me see this guy. I think I know. This is not Crypto. If I'm not mistaken, that should be him. Yeah, so I'm going to work with this guy. So I have downloaded my image from Pinterest, the image I want to work with. So the next thing to do here now is to go to customize size, right? So I'm going to click on the customize size, and then I'm going to work with social media. I'm going to click on social media here. So I'm going to select Instagram 4:5. You can see Instagram 4:5 here. So this is the size I'm going to be working with. So if you look at the flyer that we're selecting before, let me go back to that flyer. So if you look at this flyer that we are working with here, this is like a 4:5 flyer design, right? So that's why I'm working with 4:5, right? So now I'm going to now select this guy and click on the color background section at the top here. Click on the color background at the top here to create my two color background texture. So I'm going to click on this color wheel with a plus icon, and then I'm going to work on my own color background. So I'm not going to use the green color that they use for this guy. So I'm going to use my own. I'm going to make a pink and a dark shade of pink. So I'm going to click on this gradient, and then I'm going to make a dark shade of it. So this is what I'm working with, this purple shade. So that's what I'm going to use for this guy. So now I have made my background, right? So now I'm going to add texture. Texture will be the next thing I'm going to add. So I'm going to go under element here to search for, sorry, pattern, not texture. Oh, okay. Should it be texture? Yes, texture. So I'm going to search for texture, texture background. So let's see texture background. Search. These are different texture. These are different texture. These are different texture. Different texture. Let's see what this guy looks like. No, I don't think I like this. So let's see if we can get something different. How about this? No, 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 no. So let's click and see. Also, the other textures here. These are different textures. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I need more textures that are not too pronounced. Let me see this guy. Okay, I think I've used this guy initially before somewhere in one of the videos. So I'm going to just replicate it again. So I'm going to use apply like a little bit close color to pink to it, and then I'm going to go to transparency and I'm going to blend it into the background, and I'm reducing this transparency to 5, right? So I have this guy this way now. So now let's go back to our Pinterest and look at the flyer. So the title for this is Code Your Future, right? Code Your Future. So I'm going to now go to text. Under text here now, we are working with typography. We have set our background, which was the initial classes we did, how to customize your background, combine colors and all of that. So now we are going into text, right? On how to position and use text effectively. Now we're going to be using one font for this design. And the font I'm going to be using for this design is called Poppins font. So I'm going to click on this header here. So this header comes in here, and then what's the title? Code Your Future. So I'm going to just type in my title, code, and then spacebar, your spacebar, future. Now I have added my text. Now, if you look at this text here, the alignment for this text is the middle alignment, right? So I want to put it on a sideways alignment. So I'm going to now drag it this way. So now it is on sideways alignment, right? But if you look closely, the spacing in between these guys are too much. So if you come under this T with the arrows facing each other end to end, if you click on it here, you're going to see line spacing and you're going to see letter spacing. Letter spacing is when you want to space all the letters in between the text, right? Which is not what we want to achieve. We like it the way it is. So it is the line spacing in between the text, in between the what's it called? The text, yes, yeah, text. So I'm going to close down the space in between them. So I'm closing it to 0.90, and then click on enter. So this is it here. So now, like I told you, Canva provides you with guidelines to enable you position your text effectively. Now watch closely that if I drag this text now towards this angle, you're going to see a line. Now this line now is telling me that anything that goes out of this line now, it is out of proportion, right? So I'm going to make sure that everything maintains this line, right? So you can see now it's telling me that this is the right proportion. Now, even if I take this guy now to a printer that I need to print this design, right? Everything within this line proportion is going to come out perfectly fine without any obstruction. But now when you become an expert to this design and you think that the line after this text is too much, that is the space line between the text and the end of this background is too much. Now you can now drag it a little more to this point. right? You are confident enough that your text are not going to be cut off from your design. So now I'm going to go to I'm selecting this text now. I'm going to go to my font here to change the font to the Poppins that I'm going to be using for this design. So I'm going to select Poppins. So I'm just going to search for Poppins. This is Poppins here. So I have changed this guy to Poppins now. I'm going to be making it bold. And then this is me increasing it to bold. So it becomes bold like this. It becomes bold like this. So I'm going to click on this text color here to change the color of this text. So I'm going to now apply color here. Now everything is now white, right? Now let's say I want to use a two-color effect on this text. I want to use a two-color effect on this text. If I click on this color wheel here and click on this gradient color here, right? I can be able to use, you can see it has automatically created ash and white gradient for me. So I can automatically apply this ash and white gradient color here now. You can see this is it here like this. It comes this way now. You can see that I'm having two color effects on this text, right? But I don't want to make use of two color on text, right? If you want, you can do that. It also has its own unique beauty on design. Let's say I'm doing this guy now like this. If my background was actually green, let's say green color, I don't think if I have any green gradient here. Let's say I have a green color gradient background. Let me see. Okay, let me just quickly create a green color gradient background. Now you can see the beauty of this gradient on this green and dark shade of green background, right? You can see the effect of that gradient. So that's how some of these guys are being achieved, right? You can see how this guy looks on this guy. So you can, if you're making some kind of unique background, there are particular kind of colors that your text should come on, right? So that it can blend in and people can be able to see whatever you're trying to send across to them, right? So if I am using this gradient color on this text, it will work perfectly well on this background. But if it's not this background, then I would prefer to either work with a pure white color text instead of working with any other color background on this guy. So let me just change the style of this guy quickly. Yeah, so we're back to where we are. And then change this color. Yeah, so I'm going to return this guy to white. So, or I might probably decide to say, okay, let me work with this color background. So whichever, but let's just use white.
Sir, please, I have a question.
All right, I'm listening.
Now, if you want to return from gradients to normal, apart because
Yes,
I was trying to get what you did. I think you now use that gradients now you use two white.
yes, one that is a bit dark and one that is a bit light.
No, what I'm saying is, if you want to return to one color, is it that you now have to
Yes.
pick two dark color, or that place you add that plus? Is there any other way to minus it and come back to one?
No, if you want to use one color, right? If you click on this, your color wheel now, you just have to select the solid color, not gradient any longer. You have to come back to select solid. Because if I select gradient, it has to be two color. If I go back to select solid, it returns to automatically white. Did you see what
Correct,
it's doing
correct.
now?
Right on,
If I
right on. I'm
select
good.
gradient now, you can see that it's having the two color.
I'm good. I'm good. I think I'm getting what I'm looking for.
All right. So now I have this guy here. So let's see what is next here. Okay. So let's go back. So I'm going to increase this the length of this guy, and then I'm going to add the apostrophe sign that is there. So now you can see this line that is below here now. That's an abstract line. The line under the code your future, that's an abstract line, right? So we're going to search for abstract lines. We just search for abstract lines. Search for abstract lines. So let's do it and see. So these are abstract lines. This is one here. So let me just click on this one. So let's click on see all. You can see more abstract lines here. These are all abstract lines. These are all abstract lines. So let's select this guy. Let me see. I want to work with this guy. So I'm going to change the color of this guy as this line. This color is not too bright, so look for a more brighter color of pink, or possibly guy more brighter. Aha. So you can see we have added our abstract line. So what text are we supposed to add? Learn to code and transform your career. So now we are moving into another text typography, right? You can see now this is Poppins that we are using here, right? We are still going to be using Poppins, but on the little on the subtitle. If you look at this text section here now, you see you have header, you have subheading, and you have body. These are how your text in your designs are supposed to go. You have your header, which is the major thing that people concentrate on. Code your future. Now the subheading is the one that guides the other ones. That is the body informations of your design, right? So now we're going to be using the subheading. This is what we use now. We use header, right? So next we are using the subheading. That is the one that says code your and transform your future. So we're going to write in code and transform your future. I hope you are following me. Okay, transform your career, not future. Transform your career. I hope you're getting everything I'm explaining here. So now I'm going to
I'm
change
getting
the
it.
font. I'm going to change the font to the same Poppins that we are using. Remember what we are using? We are using Poppins, right? So I'm going to change it to Poppins again. So where's our Poppins again? So this is Poppins here. So I'm going to apply Poppins now. So I've applied Poppins to this text. So now if you check, the font size on this guy now is 18, right? And the font size on this guy, which is the header, is 124. So now this one that is 18 now, I'm going to make it 25. Right? I made it 25. Remember that they are still the same font, too. The same font. I've not changed any font. I've not used another different font. These are still the same font, right? So I have done this guy now. So the next thing to do here now is the other learn Python, JavaScript, SQL, blah, 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 blah. And So now I'm going to first and foremost create the shape. Create the shape that is going to carry that text. That's the shape that carries the text. You can see there's a transparent shape there, right? There's a transparent shape. So I'm going to be creating that shape now. So I'm going to go to element, and then I'm going to cancel all this, my first initial sharp search. And then I'm going to click on shape here. So once I click on shape, it's going to take me to the section where shapes are available. So these are all shapes that are available here, right? So I'm going to select this guy, this shape here, right? So, and then I'm going to resize the shape, just drag it, resize it, and adjust it. So let's say I have the shape this way, which is something like what we have here. But if you notice, this shape is transparent. It has a transparent filter on it. So that transparency was done through that gradient pattern, right? That gradient pattern. So I'm going to go down to my gradient pattern here. So I'm going to just click on this plus color here and click on the gradient section here. And then I'm going to apply this guy. I'm going to apply the color, that is the dark shade of pink that we have. So I'm going to click on this pen, pick a color. You see this place where I pick a color. This drop icon here. If I click on it now, it will allow me to pick a color from this background that we have. So now I have picked a color. Now this other one here now, I'm going to make it transparent. That's this other color here. I'm going to make it transparent. So if I drag this guy that is down here now to the end point of this guy, it becomes transparent. That's this one that is down here. You can see it moving. So if I drag it down to the extreme end, it becomes transparent, right? So now I have something that is shaded this way, right? I have something that is shaded this way. So I'm going to just rotate this guy to this point. Let me have the shape, and that's the blend mode to the other end. So I'm going to rotate it to minus 180. Now you can see this guy now is this way. You can see the way the blend motion is. That is what they have here. You can see one side of this shape here is blend into the background. Do you see that? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So that was how they achieved this guy, right? This is how they achieved this guy. So now the next thing to do here now is to add the text. To add the text that are available here. So I'm going to just let me just search for coding.
So, but this guy now, let's
Coding,
let's get it here so that
coding
we know
text.
where we are.
So
So
I'm
this
going to
guy,
just copy. I'm just going to copy this guy. I don't have time to come and be doing that too much this time. I'm just going to copy this
if you
message
want it
here.
to be, yeah, now it's
I think
coming.
there is a background noise on your end. Please, can you mute? So I'm going to copy that text. So now I'm going to go back to my text, and now I'm going to use the body. I have used my header, I have used my subheader. Now I'm using the body. I'm clicking on body now, and then I'm going to drag the body down here, and then I'm going to paste my write-up for that section, right? I'm going to paste my write-up for that section. It's not the exact write-up that is here. I just pick write-up from browser and then just bring it here, right? I didn't have time to come and be typing that long guy there. So I just pick something, I just search on coding and then pick. So I'm going to now increase this guy. Remember that this guy is 25. So I'm going to increase this guy now to like 20 or probably 21, right? And then I'm going to change the alignment pattern. I have changed the alignment pattern now to centralized mode, right? And then I'm going to position it here. So if my text are plenty, I can put only 2. I can put 2 also or more, right? If my text are plenty, I can put 2 or more. So now I have my text applied there, and then I'm going to change it to Poppins. You can see that it's not Poppins, so I'm going to change my font to Poppins, right? I'm going to change my font to Poppins.
Okay, sir, please, does it mean that when you want to work, you can use only one font to work?
Yes, you can use one font. You can use, like I told you, you are, as a designer, you are meant to use not more than 2 fonts. So that means you can use only one for all your design. As a beginner,
Okay.
right? As a beginner, you are advised to use not more than 2 fonts. So you can decide to use only one, but now you need to understand that that one font they are using cannot be in the same sizes. They can be in different sizes. Do you get my explanation?
Very well, sir.
Aha. So now I have done my write-up. This is just a random write-up, right? So don't get it twisted. So now let's say I have my write-up here, right? So what's the next thing on this design? There is a shape down here, a very common shape. And then I think there's a logo at the top. So let's search for a logo under element. Let's just search for a logo. Let's not miss that part. So let's search for logo. That's if you don't have your own logo. If you have your own logo, you import it into your Canva and use it. So, but for this guy now, I don't have logo. So we just use the random logo. So let's say this is the logo, right? So let me position this logo here. Aha. So now I'm going to now go to now create that shape. This white shape that is here now. That's what I'm going to go and create now. So I'm going to search for shape. Now, see all. You can see this shape here, this one that is here, closer to this one here now. This mini curve shape. That's what I'm going to select. And then I'm going to increase the size. If I increase the size, I'm going to now position it somewhere here. Make sure that it's centralized. You can see that line in the middle. So it's telling me now that this shape is centralized. Now, this is the type of shape that they have here. You can see it here, right? You can see it here. So that's the exact type of shape that they have here. I can decide to delete this shape and select this guy here. That's this other second one here. And bring it and readjust it end to end. And then come to these corners. You see where at the top here, are you following my cursor? At the top here, you see corners. Now I'm going to now corner this guy to 100. You see now, I have it this way. So what I'll do now is change the color. So I'll change the color to white. So now I have it this way, right? So now the next thing to do now is to create all these other shape that is here, all these other shape, right? So I'm going to create those shape now and then bring it down. So I'm creating the first shape. I'm creating the first shape. So let's select this first shape here and then corner it completely and then reduce it to this way and then resize resize it, and then bring it down. I think we have two shapes there. We have the long one that carry the address to the place of training. So you can see that my guideline is guiding me through it. So now I'm going to duplicate this shape and reduce the size of the second one for the one that will carry the time. Remember that we have not added our image. So now I've positioned it in the middle. You can see that my line now is guiding me and telling me that this guy is in the middle.
Yes.
So now I'm going to now add my text, right? Let's say I'm leaving this text for you people to add. So let me just go and add the image. So for the text now, if you are going to be adding text on this guy now, it has to be the body text. This body text here. This one that you added here. So all you need to do is just duplicate it, change the color, and then rewrite what you want to put there. So if it's your contact, let's say, okay, no, it has to be the subheading text for the contact. That's for the phone number and the location address is the subheading text, right? So let's say I duplicate and then I say 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock a.m. 8 o'clock a.m. daily, 8 o'clock to 6 p.m. 6 o'clock p.m. daily, and then close it down and then position it in the middle. You can see that my grid line is still telling me that this is correct. So I'm going to make sure that this guy is 20. No, this guy is wait to make your number reduce. It's supposed to be 25. This one too is supposed to be 25. 25. To make it more visible, so that your people that are looking for you will see the time very well. So I'm readjusting my shape so that it can be inside of the time can be inside of it. So I'm going to make this guy bold now. That's all cap lock, upper cases, right? So just like the way it is on this guy here, you can see it's on uppercase. Even the location too is on uppercase. So if let's say this guy is my location, let me just write randomly and then change color and then increase it to uppercase. So I'm going to position it here. And then I'm going to add what's the next thing? The address, sorry, the month and date. So you copy this guy now. That's the header, the main header. You reduce it to like, let's come down to the sizes here. Let's say we reduce it to 32, 32, 32, 32. And then let's change the color to black. So I'm going to say, let's say November 9. right? So let's say November 9th to 12th, 2025. And then you drop it down there. Then you reduce the number to 25. And then you have it there. So what's the next thing to do? The fee, 80K. You bring it to the other end, right? And then you highlight, and then you write your 80K fee. And then you position. Everything is in proportion. Everything is in proportion. Very, very important. Very, very important. Now, once you have successfully done this, you now start looking forward to putting your image. So I'm going to go to upload the image that we downloaded. So I'm going to go to my download. So let's say it's this guy that I want to use now. Right? So I'm going to bring this guy now here. This is him. And then I'm going to increase his size for now. Just increase the size for now. And then I'm going to remove the background. So if you are using a pro version, you can just remove the background automatically with your Canva without you using any external software to remove your background. So remember from this guy here, this guy is behind that shape. This guy image is behind that shape. So we're going to now take this guy behind that shape as well. So I'm going to click on this position here at the top and click on layers. And then I'm going to drag this guy behind that shape. So now he's behind that shape that we created before. So you can see how this thing is going. I'm going to now reduce the opacity of that shape a little. So let's say 80. So 80. So now what is next now is to add our abstracts, what's it called? All these cryptocurrency icons. So let's go to element and then we'll search for crypto. Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency. So you can see them here. These are them. So let's say I select this guy now. So I can change this guy color now to purple. You can see the color that it came with here. So if I click on this color now, I can change it to this guy. So you can see now it has changed to this guy. Now, if you notice from here now, these things are a bit blur. So if I click on this guy, I click on edit here. If I click on edit here, I go to this blur section here under effects. If you click on edit, scroll down, you go to blur under effects. You go to blur. If you click on blur here, you just select whole image and then drag it to the effects. That let me just leave my own at 60. So let's say I want to blur my own to 60. You can increase your own to 100 if you like. But me, I'm leaving my own at 60. Or you can do 70 if you want, but let's do 60. And then just close. Once you do it, just close. Just come to this cancel and cancel it. Right? It automatically applies to the image. So I'm going to drop one here. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And then drag it to this point. And increase it and drop it here. Drop it here. and then go back to the edit again and increase the blur effect to, like, say 80. Aha. So you cancel it again. Now you can see I've increased the blur effect to 80. If you notice, this one here is more blurred than this one that is here, right? So that's what I did. So now I'm going to move it, go to position. I'm going to now move it behind that white shape. Aha. So you can see now we have our crypto flyer design ready for publishing, right? So now there is a shape behind this guy here. There's a shape behind this guy. So let's just go and look for a shape randomly. Let's say this guy. And then we'll position it here, and then position it this way. Just rotate it a little. And then let's say we are leaving it this way. And then I'm going to go to position. And then I'm going to drag that shape behind the guy. So you can see now I have everything in proportion. I have everything in proportion, right? So guys, you can see how I was able to design this flyer from start to finish. What we have here. So the contact information, you can just put it down there. If you have your contact, you can just type it there. For more info, double column 08139. If you have any other one, you can just add them. So you now centralize it. Make sure you see that line. Aha. So you can see now we have completed every process for this guy that is here, right? Okay, there is one shape here. That's the crypto shape. So we'll just duplicate this guy and then drop it here. And then go back to the edit and remove the blur. Remove the blur effect. Just go to this place and then cancel all the blur effects. Aha. So everything about this guy now has been done here, right? Any question? Any questions
Baba,
so far?
my head scatter. Ah, you try, sha. You try.
So you can see how we used one font to design this full flyer design, but we use the different typography pattern, that is the header, the subheading, and the body, right? So you need to understand that this is how your text should go in your design. You have your header. Your header is the main caption of the design. Let's say you are saying, come and buy. That's the title of that flyer. It has to be more bigger and pronounced. That once I see the flyer, that will be the first thing that will capture my eyes. Then after that, it will now guide me through to read through the other details that are available on the design, right? So that is how your flyer designs are meant to go. That is how your flyer designs are meant to go. So once you are done with this guy, all you need to do is just click on the share option at the top here, and then click on download, and then download your design to your mobile phone or your laptop or wherever you intend to download it to, right? So that is how to achieve this flyer design. So I look forward to seeing you guys do your own design and also send across. If you have any challenge with achieving your design, please do well to let me know, and we will work on the correction and guide you through wherever you missed it, right? But this video is definitely going to be posted out there so that you can watch and follow through on how we were able to achieve this design. Any question?
Thank you, sir. I'm good.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So in absence of that,